Todd Monken is the latest coach to enter the chat for a head coach to succeed Sherrone Moore as the dude to lead Michigan. Let's talk about what Todd Monken might bring to the table and why I am actually rather in on this hire. What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If you're into that, subscribe, like this video, answer the question in the comments below. Do you think Todd Monken would be a good head coaching fit at the University of Michigan? I do. I really do. I also think the timing is good for both Michigan and Monken, whose Baltimore Ravens ain't as good as we thought they might be with Derrick Henry, Keaton Mitchell, Lamar Jackson, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews. If it sounds like I watch a lot of Baltimore Ravens football, it's because I don't. I just happen to really, really watch a lot of football and imbibe a lot of football news, right? I keep tabs on the NFL because it's my job. That said, Todd Monken is one of the better play callers in either sport, the NFL or college football. What remains to be seen is how good a head coach he might still be. So Todd Monken first comes across my radar as the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma State many moons ago and did a really great job with not a great roster, if we're all being serious about it, at Oklahoma State. But Oklahoma State is always punched above its weight when it's doing well, especially in the Mike Gundy era. A lot of guys that are 3 stars, 2 stars, no stars, that they developed into dudes that could win in a Big 12 conference. And really, that's a tip of the cap to Todd Monken, who later became head coach at Southern Miss, taking over a team that went 0-12. They did not improve his first year that much. They went 1-11. But one of my favorite gestures by any football coach ever is Todd Monken bought that group of seniors a bunch of suits. Like, he sent them to Taylor. He had them fitted up in Hattiesburg and took photos with them to prepare them for life after football, which I think is a really great gesture. And I really wish that more head coaches would take that on. I think that's a great symbol of what you want your program to be. You want your program to be upstanding. You want your program to be clean. You want your program to be neat, and you want your program to be classic. Fitting 22-year-old, 23-year-old, 24-year-olds with suits tailored is not an inexpensive purchase. My favorite suits have always been tailored. I wear a blue suit almost everywhere I go when I got to wear a suit. I mean, I got a tuxedo in the closet because I don't like to rent them. And because I'm 5'5" with legs that are 32 inches, there's just not a whole lot in the category for me that fits, right? I'm a very long dude who's very short. You know, that's that. But I've always enjoyed Todd Monken as a coach. And when he got to Kirby Smart at Georgia, I didn't know this was going to be a fit. I didn't think this was going to work as well as it did, especially with Stetson Bennett at quarterback, but it did. And one of the reasons that it did work is Todd Monken had learned a lot about being a coordinator and about being a head coach. So when he went to interview for the job, he asked a question that Kirby Smart had never heard from a coordinator. And it was quite simply, hey, when you tell me that you like a play for the offense to run, or a scheme that you want the offense to go toward, or philosophy you like to use in a game, all I want to know is, are you telling or are you suggesting? Because if you're telling, I'll do it. But if you're suggesting, I don't want to get my behind chewed out because I didn't go with your idea as I'm the offensive coordinator. And Kirby Smart said, you know what? You're damn right. I never thought about it that way. Call the offense, right? And that's what they did. They called the offense. They won national championships, and he becomes the offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, who still can't quite get to the NFL Super Bowl, to the Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson and win that damn thing. Like, I think the clock is running out on Lamar Jackson if it hasn't. King Henry goes from one of the most bankable running backs in the country to a dude that fumbles the football twice in one season. And in primetime games, I might add. They just haven't been great, right? Even as that defense is remarkable. Like Malachi Starks, Kyle Hamilton, Marlon Humphrey. Good God. Like, if you could, I mean, we talk college football here. So all those dudes are guys in college football, right? Say nothing to Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson won the Heisman Trophy. But also in here, you're getting a guy who needs another opportunity as a head coach if he wants it, and who is at the level that I think you would need to be the head coach at Michigan right now. This job, as I continue to tell anybody to listen, including my bosses, is not the job that it was before Sherrone Moore got fired. Okay? And even before he got fired, Matt Weiss scandal, still here. Connor Stallion scandal, never going away. You've got show causes for guys in the NFL that some could come back, but do they really want them, right? The Jesse Minter thing feels like it's done because you don't want to ring back in a guy who's associated with the Harbaugh regime because that's the thing you're trying to wash away. And even then, you're having a colonoscopy by a bunch of lawyers who, by the way, investigated Michigan before. The NCAA may or may not still do something with this, but the NCAA's enforcement arm has always been ridiculously thin because they don't have subpoena power. So people thumb their nose at them, and Michigan does, but you're still having to deal with these $30 million in fines, which is going to impact the amount of money you can pay out in NIL. On top of the revenue sharing you have to pay out. And let me add to you, yeah, they're great in basketball, men's and women's, and they're great in hockey, but football has always been the driving force. And before I get a Michigan fan or alumnus to come in here to try to tell me that Michigan is one of the best schools in the country, fool, that is not why people are applying to go to Michigan. University of Alabama had an ACT score of about 17 when Nick Saban got hired in 2007. By the time he retired, the average ACT score at Alabama is 30. Their enrollment has ballooned. The number of people that are willing to pay money, not on scholarship, pay money to go to Alabama, has ballooned. That's because they're synonymous with winning football national championships. I realize that you want to believe that your Michigan education means that much more than anybody else's education, but I'm here to tell you, when you are in the workforce and you try to get a job, the only people that care about your Michigan education probably went to Michigan. And you know what? The rest of us don't really vibe with you. You know what I'm saying? Like Ohio State fans going to look at a Michigan application. Already you got one strike. You might be a great dude. You might be a great representative for what they're looking for. But that's going to be a thing they got to overlook. Meanwhile, if you're the best at what you do and you went to the University of Phoenix, don't know how to give a damn. Look, TU for undergrad, Mash from OU, dropped out of the PhD program at Oklahoma State so I could do this job. What I'm saying is I have been in school. I know the value of school. And I tell anybody that will listen, football player, otherwise, when you get a job, stop going to school. That's why you go to school, is to get a job. Once you got a job, get the hell up out of here. And you know what? Football players ain't going to Michigan because it's the best school that they can go to. Many of them can get into Harvard, can get into Yale, can get into Princeton, get into Brown. They can get into Amherst. They don't go because they want to win championships. Enough already. Right before I start talking about other programs. I mean, OU used to have the highest number of national merit scholars in the country. Who gives a damn if you ain't winning no national championship? Also, that national merit scholar number, it came up just after Oklahoma won the national championship in 2000. And when it got back to the national championship game in 2008, it went up again. That's how it goes. Back to Todd Monken. Multiple sources in both my level, college, and in the NFL level already said that Todd Monken is being vetted for this job. And I really think that this is an interesting spot, especially as Jeff Brom has said, I'm not going there. Why would I want to take that job? That job's sorry right now. He didn't say that, right? I'm putting words in his mouth. But it does take some leaning into to take the Michigan job. Kalen DeBoer got a better job at Alabama. I maintain it would not be smart for him to leave that job at Alabama to go to Michigan. Kenny Dillingham, he just got an extension in Arizona State. Said, I never got offered the job. My agent does what my agent does. We got the money that we need. Right? Okay. Keep going down the list, right, of guys they could go get. Biff Poggi feels like, again, the fail school, right? The fail-safe school. Like, if you don't get into Harvard, you don't get into Yale, maybe you want to go to Michigan. Yeah, that's what it is, right? I also think that it's fascinating that Todd Monken's in this spot because Todd Monken would not ascend to the top of the list if this job did not have all of these other impediments to it. But Todd Monken feels like a really great hire, given what he was able to do at Georgia, given that's the kind of team you're going to have to beat to win a national championship, and that you're going to have to probably rebuild the roster quickly, fast, and in a hurry. And his name carries enough cachet with quarterbacks like Bryce Underwood, for instance, stay put, and probably get you better players than it would otherwise. And he put together a staff that might be largely from the SEC and the NFL that you could use to perhaps win games right away in 2026.